Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today as we talk with veterans and their journey transitioning from military service to first responders. As you may know, America's Warrior Partnership's mission is to partner with communities to prevent veteran suicide. We have put together as a special fireside chat that, from the little bit that I have taught with these guys, the theme around finding purpose post-service. These conversations have a tendency to bring up feelings and open old wounds. Please know that there are resources for you. The Veterans Crisis Line and TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. I encourage you to leverage these resources as they are appropriate for you and know that you are not alone. My name is Cheree Tham. I am the co-founder of America's Warrior Partnership and also the Chief Programs and Initiatives Officer here at our organization. Now today I have a great group of guys that are going to talk to you about their military service and their transition into first responders. Steve, you said you started working in EMT before you came out of the service.
So I received the training. I went through, so there's different levels of EMT and paramedic, and most combat medics, that's who I was a 91 Alpha, 91 Bravo. Now it's 68 Whiskey or something or another. It's part of your standard training, you get your EMT, but the paramedic training is substantially longer and more involved. And the short version is Uncle Sam was trying to make a change at the time and with some of the post providers and put me and 12 other of us through an actual civilian paramedic course as active duty. And, you know, like Uncle Sam is, they changed their mind at the last minute and the program evaporated, but we got to finish it. And so here I am with all this training and this education, and it's kind of depressing because I really had a passion for it, and Uncle Sam wasn't that interested. It's different now, but Uncle Sam wasn't that interested in supporting me being a paramedic in the Army. So that's the main reason why I got out, is I had to make a choice between, being aimless or following my passion. That's what I did as far as the medical side of things.
No, thank you. What is it about what you do that translates to the work that you did in the service?
Can I comment? Yeah. So it's interesting you mentioned that, because I could have gone into nursing. I could have maybe even gone on to PA school or something like that, but nowhere else in healthcare do you have the kind of, I mean, I'm not bashing on nurses, PAs, or the healthcare system in this regard, but you don't have the same type of teamwork and camaraderie you have with this merger of healthcare and public safety, or, you know, first responders. And that was a large reason why I stayed in EMS now it's been 34 years, as opposed to total, count my military time, total, instead of moving on to something that might have actually paid quite a bit more, was the people you work with. So that was it for me.
Yeah, that the people you work with is a big contributing factor to feeling the sense of purpose that I have now and being fulfilled in this job. I think now these are the most high quality people that I've ever worked with, and I'm truly humbled every day to work with these folks. And I think that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me honest with myself about where I want my life to go and to continue pushing myself, which is extremely important. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't even know wildland fire was a thing when I got out of the Marines, but I kind of just went with whatever sounded the best from there, and what would like really get me fired up and get that fire stoked in my heart and my stomach. And so following that just kind of led me here. And now, yeah, the camaraderie, being around great people, still serving my country and serving the community, and working a selfless job, I feel like is the main things that translate over to the military. It's not necessarily about the specific job. It's more about that feeling that you get being fulfilled at night when you go to bed.
Yeah, if I could add to that, I mean, I certainly agree 100% with like the people that you work with. I don't know if you remember, Cheree, like when we were talking the other day, I kind of mentioned how that now that I'm on like a hand crew and fire, even though I guess it's not the exact same thing I did in the infantry, you get a lot of very similar minded kind of people that sign up to do things like this. And it's a lot easier to relate to people around you. Like I don't want to be like too provocative on the show, but we kind of like, young men in the military talk a certain way. And there's a lot of jobs where it's very frowned upon to talk a certain way. But the guys I work with here, we're like kind of on that level of we can, we can actually be ourselves and get to know each other and who we actually are. I'm not putting on a persona when I'm at my job. You know what I mean? I'm myself around these guys, and that's the most comforting thing in the world. But the strange thing about it, when you were saying about your job in the military relating to what you want to do when you get out, I had the complete opposite. Like for me, I didn't grow up doing very many outdoorsy things. I've never been camping. I just went hunting for the first time last fall. Like I've never been an outdoorsy guy. And when I got in the infantry and I had to like sleep in a tent and dig a hole and get dirty, I honest to God, like hated it the first like year or two. I was like, this is miserable. I can't wait to sit in an office all day in the air conditioning. I can't wait. Like, this is horrible. Who wants to do this for 20 years, And then I got out and I got the job that I thought I wanted, where I was like living a comfortable life with the AC and all that. And I was 10 times more miserable. It's hard to explain, but I hated it so much. And then getting back into a job where I'm kind of getting dirty and I'm out in the field a lot kind of reminded me that even if doing things like that isn't particularly like fun per se, you need that element of hardship in your life, or at least I can't talk for everybody, but for me personally, I need like an element of hardship. I need to like be up all night digging line and running a chainsaw so that I appreciate the good days a lot more. Because when I'm working in a comfortable environment where I'm not getting dirty and I'm not outside all the time, my emotions are so streamlined and it becomes like tedium almost. So like I almost, for lack of a better term, I kind of need to suffer to be happy. If that makes any sense,
Oh yeah.
Can I, so something I noticed, so William, you were with the vet crew, right? Right. And, William.
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
And, Nate, you were with Hot Shots, another kind of higher tier, higher performing, group. And my organization that I'm with now is one of the more well-respected, higher performing EMS organizations. But when I first started, I transitioned through a couple really low tier EMS jobs, and that was almost disheartening as not working at all, because you weren't working with the same caliber of people. So what I'd advise the veterans out there as you go by is pick the group that you make your family. I mean, if you're in the infantry, if you're you're infantry, you're a hard charger, and now you were with a vet crew of people that you trust, higher tier people. Nate, you were in the infantry, hard charging, and you were hiking Everest and everything, and now you're with the Hot Shots. No small feat. Not everybody gets to go and do that. Not everybody not everybody can be an astronaut. No, not everybody makes it at my gig. And that was another thing that I found was really helpful, is not only was I around like-minded people, but equally passionate people. And you don't always find that just in fire or in law enforcement or in EMS or whatever your gig is. You need to, if a veteran wants to find that extra little spark, they need to surround them with people who have that spark already. I don't know. That's my observation is, if you're a veteran and you're getting out of the service, don't just fall, full into the first gig that falls your way. Do the research, find the place you want to make your home, and then go after it with some aggression.
And as a veteran, you're sought after for the most part.
Yeah.
So like just going for the first job is not necessarily going to be the best one. Find something that you like, and I'm sure that there's a way to get into that job. Especially being a veteran, you're regarded really high. And for us being in these veteran crews and getting the wildland fire, that's the federal side of the workforce, and you have veterans preference. So your resume gets to the top of the list when you're applying for these jobs. So think about that. That's a great point.